some basic principles of color, and I have some charts here. So see, the basic principle about color is the colors, the entire spectrum of visible frequencies. So you have frequencies, and there's one particular spectrum of it which is visible, that goes from ROYGBIV, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. So the spectrum that you get when light disperses when passed through some kind of an object like water, glass, and red having the longest wavelength deviates the least. So it's actually the most powerful in terms of penetration, and the one with the least wavelength actually deviates the most. So if you were to arrange your spectrum as a wheel, then your complementary color scheme, okay, complementary color scheme basically says pick any color, and let me pull out the other link as well. So you can see the complement color scheme basically has got this indication here, opposite sides of the wheel. So you can pick any color, and the opposite side of that wheel, opposite color to this dot makes the complement. Also, when you choose complementary colors, you got to make sure that one is sort of lighter and one is a bit darker, you see. And you can then go to adjust scheme and you can adjust it. So there are a lot of these things. You can see I'm making my red a bit darker just so that I get a bit more contrast. So the complement says, okay, opposite sides of a color. Now many of you would have done this in school. I'm sure a lot of you have done it. But those of you who are totally new to it, that's your complementary color scheme. Monochromatic is take any color on the wheel, mix it with shades of black and white and get different lighter and darker shades. And this designer is mainly meant for web designers, and you can see it will basically make up a monochromatic web page. Okay, now for you guys, you have to apply color schemes to scenes, to models, to textures, and so on. And next week's exercise will involve applying a color scheme to a particular scene of a game or a movie for screen students and creating a poster for it. Because when you make your own game in the third semester, and you've seen these posters lying around, the bounty and all kinds of posters lying around this floor, a part of your assignment is you got to promote your movie or your game. So you are going to have to make posters. And you just can't take any picture, any text and just slap it together, you know. That'll look very, very year 10-ish. So you gotta, sort of go up a notch and learn how to make a really, really nice poster. The triad scheme, also known as split complementary scheme, it says take a color and don't take the opposite color, but take the two neighboring colors of the opposite color. Okay, so that is your triad scheme. Color plus the one sitting on the sides of the opposite color. So that gives you three colors. This allows you to make your poster, your scene a bit more colorful. This is, you can see, monochromatic, single tones, two tones, three tones. But three tones, not any three tones. You take one color and then you take two colors from the opposite side of the wheel, but those colors sitting on the adjacent side of that opposite color. So that gives you three. You have four, so you take two adjacent colors, any two adjacent colors, and then you take the two opposite ones. Analogous color scheme is take any color and take its two neighbors. See that? That's an analogous color scheme. Now your warm color scheme is actually an analogous color scheme, which is one of the themes you have to choose, you might choose. So warm colors are the colors which are on the side of the reds and yellows, okay, but it's an analogous color scheme. So is the cold color scheme. You see these cool colors and you can make out, see it looks cool, like it's all blues, gives you that feeling of ocean, mountains, ice. This gives you the feeling of volcanoes. So both of these are analogous color schemes. And then you have an accented analogic scheme, which basically says I will use analogous colors, but I will use one color from the opposite side just to add some punch to my color scheme. Because if you're using all blues, for example, under analogous, this is what it looks like. But the moment you put accented analogic, you get that punch color. It's called a punch color. The kind of thing you do while cooking, add a bit of spice, bit of flavor, you know. So these are your basic color schemes, okay. Now what you're going to do is today, you're going to apply them. Today's exercise basically just on graffiti, but next week you will apply them to environment, and I'll do that exercise separately. But I might have an example somewhere here. Yes, today just graffiti, but I just want to show you where it's going to be applied. So I'm going to show you a lot more Photoshop next week, and it's going to be applied somewhere like this, okay. So for now you'll be using a ready-made scene, but coming third semester 3, you will, by the end, during the games night, you will be making your own promotional material. And you can see I've just applied a warm color scheme. I've taken a flame, thrown it there. I've taken masks, and you can see what I've done to this. So I've just added layers, but this is coming up over the next 2 weeks. So you got to apply the color scheme. It's not so much just a graffiti art. So for today, we are just going to apply the color scheme to graffiti art, and we will have a bit more of a play with Photoshop with textures and effects. So let's have a look at it. So I have got about 7 graffiti images here, okay. This week's exercise involves take any 2 and apply 2 different color schemes, okay. Choose any 2 images from the zip file and apply a monochromatic scheme, complementary scheme, a hot scheme, cold scheme, a triad scheme. Apply any scheme that you find suitable, okay. So I'll just open up one of these, and it should be fairly straightforward. Some of them will require coloring in. Oh, by the way, I marked you an S for exercise 1, so you don't stress over it. It's all good. I think they're here. Color schemes, graffiti 1. Choose any 2 graffiti, whichever takes your fancy. You know, whatever tickles your imagination. So there's several ways of doing this, okay. I'm just going to demonstrate one of the ways. What happens here is you can either color in, and I will talk about the color replacement tool later. But what I'm going to do for this one is, first I'll make my color scheme, okay. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to make on a new layer. I made a new layer. On a new layer, I'm just going to make a small patch. Morning, Matthew. And I'm going to choose a color. Okay. Edit. Fill, foreground color. So I've got this color, right? It's on a new layer. Now, a few things I would like to show you. If something is selected and you want to deselect it, Control D or Apple D on the Macs deselects it. If you want to select just the outline of a layer, Control and clicking on this window, okay, not here. Control and clicking on this window, not here. So if you do Control and click here, whatever is on that layer gets selected. If you use the Move tool, press the Alt key and drag it out. It wanted me to select a layer, so it knows which layer I'm working on, so I selected a layer. So if you press the Alt key and drag out something, it makes a copy. See that? Now if you press the Alt key and drag out something while pressing the Shift key, see, it locks. See that? It locks beautifully. It snaps. So I made a copy of it. I'm just going to adjust the hue of it. I can take a new color, or I can say, you know what, I'm on yellow. Let me shift the hue towards the left side. Yep. And then again I press the Alt key. I'm making a color palette, and you will need to make a color palette to show me what palettes you have used. So I'm just going to shift it again to the left. Okay, I got red. And I might change the tones, okay, but I'm just saying primarily I'm going to use these warm colors. I'm just shifting the hue. I can play with the lightness. There's no drama with that. See, I'm going into the cold region. I don't want anything cold. Um, I'll keep that at 0 and I'll just play with the saturation and the lightness. So I might use some darker reds and might use some brighter yellows. I don't know. Move, Alt, and as I move, I'm just pressing the Shift key. Image, adjustment, hue, saturation, and probably some brighter yellows to make highlights. I don't know. I'm just gonna double click on this layer 1 and call it palette. I might even lock it so I don't paint on it by mistake. Come to a new layer. So that's my palette. Come to a new layer. Now you can see this. One way of doing this, I can select the magic wand tool, and unless I tell the magic wand to sample all layers, it will sample only this layer. You see, if I click somewhere, it just happily goes and selects everything. But if I actually ask it to sample all the layers, then I can start selecting regions. You can see that. And so let's just get the S. And this is where I'm going to color the top layer. Now you can use a brush, you can use the fill. If you're using a brush to color in, and you can see that I've just colored it in. The advantage of the brush is you can actually press the Alt key and select a different color and say, okay, now that's what I want. Or you can actually take another color and you can start giving it a bit of a shade. Okay, and you can start giving it a bit of a gradient. Okay, that's the advantage of the brush. By pressing the Alt key, you can change your brush into a picker, color picker. See the icon changes, and even these black lines, suppose you hit on the black area, you can hit on the black area and say select similar, which means it will select everything which is similar to that black, and you can see all the black has been selected. You can edit fill it, so you can actually just take the picker, take this color, if you want, make it a bit more darker, and you can say edit fill it and edit fill. So I've got that edit fill, but I'll do it on a new layer and I'll tell you why. I'll make a new layer. I'll say edit fill. If it is sitting on a new layer, I can add a layer style. So anything that has a pixel can be given any of these effects. I'll just go to drop shadow. So and you can see if I can actually drag the drop shadow here. I can change the direction of it. Is that music playing through your headphones, Matthew? Doesn't bother me, it'll make you deaf. Okay, so I can add a shadow here. I don't like this shadow. I can add an inner shadow. But these tools are available to you to make this look a bit more engraved, so to speak, you know, and have a play with them. You will realize you can't see it very nicely here. Let me see if you can see a bevel. Yeah, you can probably see the bevel as I turn it on and off. You can see how it looks a bit raised, as if it's not just paint, but as if it's some kind of acrylic paste that has been put out over there. You can have textures on it. So if you think it's too flat, and you can add a texture. Texture can be small or big, and I'll do a bit more of this when I do the poster next week. But you can do all of that. Coming back here, use your magic wand again, select areas, pick your color, and you can either brush it, fill it, or there's one more thing you can do. You can actually make a nice gradient. Let me show you. So if I wanted the outlines to actually have a gradient, I could go here you get basically the same gradients which you get from this menu here. You see, if I double click here, you see this is the same deal here. I will go and choose gradient overlay. Now you already have your colors, so let's say I want to modify this gradient. You see this gradient? I pick on this color and I say I want this color. I can choose a color. I pick on this color and I say I want this color. You can make a copy by pressing the Alt key. See, the Alt key not only copies parts of your pixel, it also copies your colors. So if I wanted one more red, I just press the Alt key, drag it along. If I wanted one more yellow, I press the Alt key and drag this one along. And you see these white dots, they will help you to push the highlights closer. And if you add something by mistake and one more by mistake, oops, oh, what the hell is happening? Don't worry. Just pick one of these crayons and drag them out. See this? Just pull them down and they disappear. Okay? So let's say you got your gradient and you've got your angle and everything. So there's your gradient. You can actually set a gradient angle. And you can set the opacity if you don't want it too strong, just a very subtle gradient and so on and so forth. And actually now that I have a gradient, I feel the need for a stroke. I want some kind of a dark outline. I probably just need a very, very dark outline, a very thin dark outline. Stroke probably too. And you can take your graffiti, put it on a skateboard, put it on a wall, put it on a t-shirt, but just maintain the color scheme. So that's going to be today's exercise. So you'll have to take any two graffiti images. Some are okay to fill, some you'll have to hand paint, some you'll actually have to use a brush and eraser and paint it.